influencer, a job that is highly coveted in today's day and age. A dream job for many, where people believe that with a press of a button and a simple upload of content, an individual can make hundreds, if not thousands of dollars within seconds. According to a 2022 article written by Gianna Melillo, staff writer reporter for The Hill, 1 in 4 Gen Zers plan to become social media influencers, believing that they can make between $75,000 to $100,000 a year, while enjoying the perks that come along with influencing, such as being sent free products, meeting other influencers, and possibly obtaining some sort of fame. This dream job is sought after by many, but what do these individuals actually do, and how do they make a living wage? Well, that depends on the type of influencer you are, of course. There are dance influencers, beauty influencers, commentary influencers, fashion, prank, femininity influencers, financial, travel, political influencers, cooking influencers, cleaning influencers. Basically, for every interest, hobby, or topic known to man, there is an influencer job to go along with it. With every post created, there is an opportunity to build an audience, to grab the attention of social media users. And that is when the money comes into play. You see, brands don't want you, they want your audience. And depending on the type of audience you have, brands are willing to pay a fee to have access to said audience, even if it's only for 1 or 2 minutes. A short paragraph from the 2022 Forbes Top Creators list basically sums up the influencer experience, stating, and I quote, "Their compelling, often quirky content is consumed by millions, and the world's top brands happily spend millions to sponsor it." Then the recipe is simple, right? You pick a category, post content, and boom, you're a certified influencer receiving sponsorship offers from numerous companies. If only it was that easy. Unbeknownst to many, a lot of categories of online influencing are extremely volatile, leaving the views and popularity of many influencers at the mercy of whatever is trending at the moment. From viral product reviews where influencers rush to purchase and post the latest product catching the eyes of millions, to online grassroots movements that unfortunately become the next hottest trend due to high volume of influencers suddenly partaking in it. Many influencers, but not all, are willing to try, promote, or encourage almost any trend as long as it brings eyes, opportunity, and sponsorship offers along with it, which is why it's no surprise that a certain category of influencer has quickly begun to expand and transform over such a short period of time. A type of influencing that many would have never in a million years guessed would go in this direction. Today, we will be talking about wig influencing, its origin story, and why this often underrated category of influencer is suddenly gaining worldwide traction. It's no secret that wigs have been around for centuries. The adorning of elaborate and well-structured wigs go as far back as ancient Egypt, where people of that time wore wigs that signaled wealth, status, and to increase attractiveness. In the 18th century, European men wore wigs for certain social functions, like going to court. And during the 1960s, wig companies promoted wig wearing as a fast and easy way to look fashionable and put together. In the 1962 video posted to YouTube by the world's finest newsreel archive, a narrator describes how wigs were promoted and potentially used by the consumers of that time, stating, and I quote, "The pace of living is obviously faster than ever. For a young pretty girl, there are so many parties to go to, there just isn't time to get hair washed and set." Well, there's one answer. Change it. Actresses, models, and other busy people are turning more and more to using wigs for convenience. An unexpected date, you just pop one on, choosing either the black or the auburn to suit the dress. Models find that agencies wanting a blonde or brunette can be easily satisfied with the same girl, different wig. Today's teenagers are perhaps more fashion conscious than their parents. Here's one that might be setting the pace for the rising generation. Actresses, models, busy party goers all have wigs. Why not teenagers? It's quite shocking to think that wigs were seen as a possible accessory for even teenagers during that time, but this just shows how much of a trend wig wearing was. During this time, wig wearing was so popular that the largest African American beauty parlor located in Harlem began to sell wigs as well. A deluxe wig salon was opened within the Rose Meta house to provide their customer base with highly sought after wigs. Unfortunately, with time, the popularity of wigs began to wane. By the year 2000, wig wearing was largely seen as taboo in mainstream society. For most, a wig became associated with the elderly or with those who were battling illnesses. Throughout the African diaspora, wig wearing continued to be prevalent, but the use and the popularity of wigs differed from country to country, culture to culture. So basically, besides certain niche groups of people and besides certain individuals within the African diaspora, most people did not want to be caught dead with a wig. This sentiment became more and more apparent as the vast majority of people began to favor other hair installation techniques, such as wearing a weave, clip-ins, or choosing to wear hair pieces instead of a full wig. This disdain towards wig wearing would do a 180 with the explosion of the natural hair movement online. In the early 2000s, it became popular to post and search for hair information on the World Wide Web, which is why the natural hair movement began to develop a presence online as well. Black women within the United States began to share hair information to assist women who wish to abandon relaxed hair and transition to wearing their hair as it grows naturally. They would share their ideas, tips, and tricks on forums, blogs, and the newest information sharing platform of that time, YouTube. The natural hair movement began to spread like wildfire, and many women within the African diaspora who had never worn wigs before and had decided to do the big chop decided to use wigs as a way to hide hair that was transitioning from chemically straightened to natural. This was their way of allowing their hair to grow out a little before cutting it all off. This is how some of these women avoided being completely bald when doing the big chop. These women also used wigs if they felt uncomfortable with short hair, choosing to wear wigs until their natural hair grew out to a length they felt comfortable with. The natural hair movement also helped to popularize the use of wigs as protective styles, which was incredibly helpful to women with tightly coiled hair and provided them a way to protect their hair from the harshness of nature's elements during season changes and from over manipulation of one's hair, which could lead to excessive hair loss and breakage. I would just like to note that during this time, there were some Black women outside the natural hair community that were reviewing, styling, and making wigs on YouTube, but these groups were very small in number and not well known during the early years of YouTube. As more and more people began to join the YouTube platform, more and more videos were created surrounding the topic of wigs, and these videos began to amass a large amount of views online. Creators would post content reviewing human hair that was bought to be turned into a wig, or post a review of pre-made wigs to YouTube, and if the review was positive, thousands of viewers would decide to make purchases based on that review alone. US wig and hair companies began to take notice of how YouTube was causing skyrocketing sales within the hair industry and began to reach out to creators to ask if they would be willing to talk about wigs on their channel, and thus wig influencing was officially born. Internationally based hair companies looking to cut out the middleman decided to sell hair and wigs directly to the consumer from the factory instead of to beauty supply stores or hair brands, and began to use wig influencers to do so. Word quickly spread about how women were allegedly making thousands of dollars online through wig promotions and being gifted free hair as well. This caused the amount of wig-based content to explode online. Many influencer hopefuls began to create channels and talk about wigs with the hopes of making money or being sent free hair extensions or wigs to review. A quick side note, although wig influencing was one of the core reasons massive amount of content surrounding wigs began to flood online platforms, it was not the only reason. Another major reason for massive movements towards wigs was baddie culture. Unfortunately, wig wearing and wig influencing promoted by baddie culture began to overtake and outshine the wig wearing culture of the natural hair movement. The natural hair movement's wig wearing culture focused on safe and effective wig wearing techniques, putting your natural hair first, growing long natural hair while protecting it, intended to promote natural looking wig, while wig wearing culture surrounded by the idea of becoming a baddie focused on creating an image and fitting into a specific look. As a result, some of these women have totally abandoned their natural hair. Of course, there are some women who subscribe to baddie-inspired wig culture and have long hair due to how well they take care of their natural hair, but a lot of women who follow this culture seem to always put a hairstyle before the health of their hair. I talk about this topic further in my video titled Baddie Culture and its Toxic Chokehold on the Hair Industry in Today's Women. Feel free to check it out if you're interested. By 2018, wig content and wig influencing had expanded past what most would refer to as Black YouTube and had successfully infiltrated mainstream society. You couldn't spend an hour on the internet without seeing some sort of wig-related content. This constant promotion of wig and the high volume of wig content would continue on for years, exposing people from all around the world to how wigs were dyed, installed, styled, and worn. All of a sudden, it became a very normal thing to admit you wore a wig. Not only were many people exposed to the wig-wearing world, but it changed the views of the younger generation. Gen Z had grown up being exposed to some form of wig content, and this would once again shift the way society at large thought about wig. Now it's 2023 and a whole new crop of wig influencers are making their presence known on the latest popular social media app, TikTok. The current wig influencers of TikTok are the most diverse group of wig influencers ever in terms of nationality, race, and background. From Asia to Africa, Europe, Australia, and the Americas, almost every continent has a wig industry that is drawing in an incredible amount of attention. This new wave of wig wearers and wig promoters remind me of how widely popular wigs became in the late 50s and early 1960s, where even teens were wearing wigs, except this time it's 100,000 times stronger due to over a decade of constant wig wearing exposure through the internet and through popular celebrities and popular social media users. Wig wearing is no longer perceived as something you should hide or try to pretend as though it's your hair. In fact, it is common to see women proclaiming to the world that they are wearing a wig, unashamed to show how they put wigs on and take wigs off. Wig wearing and wig influencing has grown and transformed within such a short period of time, and here are some of the reasons why and how it happened. During the pandemic lockdown, lace front wearing had reached its peak within Black YouTube. Many, but not all women, had time to reflect and decided that they didn't want to go back to protective styling and wanted to wear their hair out.
I saw a video earlier of this girl and she was in a room. Everybody had on wig glue and a wig cap, I guess waiting to get their installs. Ladies, that's taking y'all's hair out. You heard it from me. And I don't care about the one friend you know that has worn her hair like that for 2 or 3 years and it hasn't taken it out. Over time, it's going to take your hair out. And you heard it from the hair coach. We have the most beautiful hair and nobody's wearing it. You know how crazy that's about to get in the next few years when I would say over half of Black women are going to be walking around here with bald heads, can't go outside without a bonnet on or some type of install. Ladies, our hair is beautiful. Why are you covering it up?
I've been wearing my braids because I can't be bothered. I keep saying I'm tired of gluing wig, gluing wig, gluing wig, gluing wig, melting. Yes. I don't want to do it anymore. All right, I'm tired.
The band is tight.
It's gluing, melting.
We are sick.
Bruh.
Brain damage.
Let me say this, yeah. Let me make a public announcement.
We're ready.
The wig is not my real hair. No matter how much I swoopity-doo, no matter how much I glue, no matter how much I lace, the wig is not real. It's not real. This whole attainment, is that a word? Attainment. I'm going to add it to my dictionary.
Attainment, yeah.
This whole attainment of it trying to look as real as possible. Listen, I'm not going to be growing Brazilian yaki from my scalp, all right?
Like we can see the front door.
You can see the dots. Yes, because it's not my hair.
Yeah.
sick and tired of lace front wigs, many women within the African diaspora turned against the previously popular hairstyle choice. And we see this with how YouTube, TikTok, and other social media platforms were all of a sudden flooded with taped-in, clipped-in, eye-tip, heat training, and upart wig content. Hair companies saw this as well, as they often stalk Black YouTube and Black creators in order to keep tabs on changing hair trends in order to turn a profit. But that's a story for another time. For the first time in a long time, the vast majority of the hair industry began to offer large quantities of tape-ins, clip-ins, eye-tips, and upart wigs with large portions of natural hair left out. This turn away from lace front wigs had such a big effect that we see many Instagram models and famous women begin to take off the lace front wigs and wear extensions with more of their natural hair out as well. This trend would change the landscape of wig influencing forever, because now companies were creating extensions, hair pieces, and different forms of wigs that would not only be appealing to women of African descent, but would grab the attention of other groups of women as well. This would be proven true with how wig influencing developed on TikTok. Tons of women of all different races and backgrounds began to dip their toes into the wig influencers pool by promoting upart wigs. As I stated before, the popularity of upart wigs began to soar, and it's mostly due to the promotion of these types of wigs by all groups of women, especially on TikTok. This promotion of upart wigs was an eye-opener to many women just starting out in the wig influencing game, because many of them never knew that they could make money online promoting wigs. You see, one of the major drives behind online wig influencing and wig wearing are the financial incentives that come along with it. Wig influencing has given many women the ability to make money online, and it is alleged that some new wig influencers can make anywhere from $200 to $2,000 per wig when promoting wigs for companies.
What if I told you promoting wigs on social media could be paying your bills right now? I myself literally made $300 just yesterday promoting a wig. Ah, Brianna, you so capped out. You didn't get paid $300. How the hell you explain this? Huh? Explain it. Explain. Now, I personally started my journey back in like October of last year. And since then, baby, the collabs have been coming in. I've been getting all these wigs. Like, I literally don't know what to do with myself right now. Keep in mind, when I first started, I was only making like $50 a collab. So yeah, it feels nice. Now, Brianna, why the hell are you telling me this? Like, what is it gonna do for me? Because I'm literally teaching others how to do the exact same thing. So what's up? You gonna become a wig influencer or not?
One wig influencer even allegedly admitted to making 6 figures her first year of wig influencing on TikTok. FYI, anytime you see a high volume of any type of online promotion, the kind where almost everyone seems to be talking about one particular product or brand, 90% of the time, it most likely has something to do with influencer marketing. The same goes for wig influencing. The more wigs are being promoted, the more money is being circulated. For a lot of young women, wig influencing has been a way to make a living, and some are blessed with making an extremely good living at that. The rising cost of hair services is another reason why wig wearing and wig influencing is growing in popularity. Recently, many women have taken to the internet to express their displeasure with the extreme rise in the US-based hair industry. After lockdown, many hair services in the country have doubled and tripled in cost, and people are not happy.
It costs that much 'cause it takes me hours. It costs that much 'cause I don't have superpowers. So you need to pay for my skills 'cause exposure doesn't pay the bills. It costs that much 'cause it takes me hours. I know you think my prices are negotiable, but if you keep on questioning, I will not be so sociable. And feel free to walk away, 'cause I know just what my art is worth. So hear me when I say that it costs that much, 'cause it took me years to master. Years to master. You're free to try if you think you do it faster. Do it faster. But it would likely turn out 'cause you simply haven't practiced it.
This was such a hot topic that a lot of people, especially a lot of hairstylists, chimed into the discussion.
I wanted to talk about something that I've been seeing all over TikTok, and I'm sure you've seen it too. It is kind of debating stylist pricing. And it's just a whole topic of how much stylists should charge. People are defending the pricing. People are saying that other stylists are charging too much, all over the board. If you've been watching my account, you know I am a numbers girl. I am a numbers girl, so let me break some things down for you. So I specifically just saw a TikTok where someone said their stylist charged them $60 for a full foil money piece, whatever. They get the whole 9 yards, and it takes them 2 hours, and they charge $60. What's cool about running your own business is you do get to pick your prices and kind of structure your pricing the way that you see fit. But there's still a formula that needs to be followed. So I could do that in a whole other video, but unfortunately there are stylists nowadays who just pick their pricing based off their previous pricing. They don't really do any math, they don't follow any equation, and they just pick pricing out of God knows where. But there's actually a formula that needs to be followed in order to make sure that you're profiting and you're making the money you need to be making, and the business is getting the money that the business needs. So I know for myself that in order to keep my business running, I basically need between $20 and $30 an hour just to pay the business expenses. And that goes for product, rent, insurance, taxes, that's all of that. The reason why I have a range is because not all services cost the same to do. So if I were to charge $60 for 2 hours worth of work like the other stylist charged, I know that $30 an hour right off of that goes right to the business. So if I charge someone $60 for 2 hours of work, then that would mean that my entire profit just went straight to the business. Straight to the business, right? Straight to the business. And that would mean that I did not make a single dollar off of that. There are some people that don't know that, and they will structure their prices and they'll charge $60 for a full head of highlights. And then in 5 years, they're going to feel like they're breaking their back trying to make ends meet being a hairstylist. And they're like, you can't make money being a hairstylist. That's not it. You need to know how to run a business as a hairstylist. You also need to know how to be successful as a hairstylist. So now you have the business expenses plus your own expenses. So not only do I have to factor in that $60 an hour for the business, but I also have to figure in how much I need to make hourly to be able to live my lifestyle. And that is where stylists mess up a lot of the times, and that is why people like me are here to be able to educate, so stylists know how to price things out, and there aren't stylists charging $60 for a full head of highlights, because that's ridiculous.
As you guys can see, although many hair professionals were understanding, some were not. Here is a controversial take on the pricing dilemma.
Things, and they want something. It's a spoiled, rotten response to take someone down because they can't afford it. I'm not trying to be mean, but people who shame hairstylists for their price say, I'm sorry that you're broke. And you want Chanel, and you have the budget of Target. And for another stylist. I mean, yeah, but like, would you even want that? I know. Like, would you even want to? I would just say you have unrealistic expectations. Like, you have unrealistic expectations. Like,
this is why I hate hairstylists. As soon as a hairstylist stands up for themselves, puts in solid pricing boundaries, or says no to an unrealistic request, we become those who think we're God's gift to earth and those who are taking advantage of others. No. When a hairstylist sets boundaries with their pricing, an angel gets their wings and the entire industry elevates. I'm not saying that when your guest comes in and they show you a picture and the picture is like $500, if they can't afford that you tell them to kick rocks, okay? I'm saying that you as a hairstylist do not have to work extra, use more product, do more work, come in early, stay late, and do all of these things and not get paid. It's 2022 and hairstylists are elevating and setting boundaries. And there's people like this lovely person who commented who hate us for setting boundaries because for some reason the hairdressing profession is beneath other professions. No, not anymore. Everybody is elevating, and as long as you're a kind professional hairdresser with solid boundaries, clear pricing, giving a price breakdown before the service, and creating other options for your guests who may not be able to afford your services, whether it's a referral, whether it's customizing the service to fit their budget, then you are absolutely entitled to setting boundaries. And there are going to be people who hate you for it. And those people are mad because they benefit from you having no boundaries. The only person who will hate your boundaries will benefit from you not having any. The time is over where people are getting pushed around and shamed for setting their prices and sticking to them and not bending over backwards for people who are ungrateful, okay? So with kindness in my heart, I say, if you have a problem with pricing for your hairstylist, find another stylist. There's no need to shame somebody for setting their prices and setting their boundaries. Get over it.
It's reactions like this that made some women change their hairstyling habits to ones that are more affordable. Some even took drastic measures, noting that it would be cheaper to go on vacation and get their hair done in another country than to receive hair care services in the United States. Here are a few interesting stories that made the news of women flying out of the country to receive hair services.
I just flew all the way to Turkey to get my hair done, and you're coming with me to the salon today. I know it sounds crazy to travel all the way around the world for a hair appointment. The last time I did this, people were so astounded that the video went viral, and I actually ended up on the news. I had Turkish guys in my DMs for months. I got a lot of marriage proposals. But here's why going to Turkey to get your hair done is so worth it. First, I am convinced that Turkish hairstylists are the best in the world. I'm telling you, a few hours in the salon there, and they will transform you into the hottest version of yourself. It's like magic. Second, prices in the US are out of control. We all know that. US citizens have been going abroad for medical and dental for years. Remember when I spent $92 to get 2 cavities filled in Thailand? But now salon prices are a little steep too. And I loved my US hair salon, and they're good at what they do, but when they raised their prices for the hair extensions I get to $4,400, I decided that if I wanted that hair, it was just another service I'd have to go abroad for. So I tracked down the stylist from one of my hair inspiration photos that I'd pulled off Instagram, saw he lived in Turkey, and decided to book an appointment and put the money I would have spent on my hair towards a vacation in Turkey. This is my stylist. I just adore him. He is so nice, and even though we really only can communicate through Google Translate, I completely trust him with my hair. My plane ticket to Turkey was $800. My Airbnb was $350. My hair was $500, and it was an amazing experience. If you're ready for the glow up of your life, you need to visit a Turkish hairstylist. I promise you, you will never look back. It is so worth it.
For those who cannot afford to travel out of the country but still want to find an affordable way to upkeep their hair, wigs have become a viable option. Wearing a wig is way cheaper, especially in the long run, than paying thousands of dollars a year to upkeep certain color services on one's natural hair, and it's low to no commitment as well. This is another quick detour from the original topic, but I also noticed that more and more women of other races are choosing to book hairstylists from the diaspora for hair services, especially for special events. Alana Thompson, aka Honey Boo Boo, a well-known child reality star within the United States, was recently featured on many gossip blogs when she chose to go get a wig styled and installed for prom and graduation. Not only did she choose to go to a black hairstylist, but she promoted this hairstylist work on her Instagram page and on TikTok as well. Women from all around the world are ordering custom units with custom color services.
Demi Lovato came to sit in my chair today. She wanted a wig installed so she could protect her natural hair from all of that heat damage, hair extensions, color, tight ponytails, all of the stuff that you have to do to your natural hair when you're in the public eye. Obviously, I'm just kidding, you guys. It's not Demi, but I was trying to figure out the entire appointment who she reminded me of. And finally, at the very end, I was like, oh my God, you look like Demi Lovato. But anyway, she came in for her installation and we had such a great vibe. I love it when I meet a client for the first time and we just have like great conversation. So the question the commenter was asking is basically, do you ever do wig installs on non-Black women? The answer is yes. Of course, I do installs on non-Black women, and any woman can wear a wig. I have done several consultations on non-Black women and several installs on them as well. But sometimes not all clients are comfortable with being filmed. So don't look at my portfolio and think that only Black women can wear wigs, or I only want to do wigs on Black women, because that's not the case. I have had women come and sit in my chair who have severe hair thinning, or they may have a severe case of alopecia, or even sometimes cancer. So, part of my role, I hate to say job because this doesn't feel like a job. Like, I feel like I'm just having fun at work, but part of what I do is like making sure the client is like comfortable. So if someone's not like comfortable with being filmed, you can tell before you even set up your camera. So, you just don't do it, because then like the energy will be off and then maybe they'll feel a little bit awkward, and we just don't want that. Okay, so back to my client right here. She did bring in this unit beforehand so we could go ahead and customize it and pluck it. We did a very light pluck on the wig because her natural hairline is very full. So she really didn't want a thinned looking hairline, because obviously the goal was to make it look similar to her natural hair. But this was the final result, and I hope you guys love it. I was obsessed with how it came out, and she looks amazing. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.
They are flying from Europe to the United States to get their hair braided. Some women in Europe interested in different ways of installing hair are getting crocheted hairstyles from hairstylists within the diaspora. Women on the beaches of Spain are making a living braiding the hair of tourists. This surge in interest in booking can be credited mostly to TikTok. I feel as though TikTok has allowed the work of many talented hairstylists within the African diaspora to be seen. I do feel as though some might be going to these women for hair care service because on average, hair professionals within the diaspora tend to charge much lower than others. For example, a hair salon that caters to other racial groups might charge $4,400 to provide a service with hair extensions in the United States, while hair professionals within the African diaspora would most likely charge the same rate as the Turkish hairstylist featured in this video, if not a little bit less for the same quality of work.
So the funny part about this to me is the fact that everyone's like, oh my gosh, I've never seen this before. But Black women have been doing this forever. This is called like a closure piece, and pretty much the best way I can think of to describe it is it's like all the pieces of a wig not in a wig, and they're sewed in separately and not together. Black women have been doing this for a really long time. I personally started doing this about 3 years ago after my hair had been so damaged from beaded extensions and tape-in extensions because stylists didn't know how to do those correctly on me, and I was left with bald spots. I went to a job interview a few months ago at like a really fancy salon, and the lady showed me pretty much this, a closure piece, saying how this was a technique that she had developed with their team, and that it was really exclusive and I would be taught how to do it. At the time, I had a full weave with a closure in. Pictured here, me with a full weave and a closure. So when she said that she had developed this technique and it was new, I was like, I actually have one of those in right now. She's like, and I was like, yeah. And then she was, she wanted to look at my hair. I was like, hell yeah. I'm a hairstylist too. So she's looking at it and she's like, oh my god, like, how much did you pay for this? And I was like, $150. And this was telling me that she charged in the thousands. I think she was a little insulted when I told her how little I paid for it. But the point that I'm trying to make is that Black women have been doing these techniques for years, and I feel like they always pave the way for how white women do their hair a lot of the times. Not regarding color as much, but especially regarding techniques as far as hair extensions, wigs, feed-in braids, the festival braids that are so trendy, things like that. And it's funny because they never get the credit that they deserve for being the ones that originally came up with the techniques. So this just made me laugh because I was like, oh, here's another technique that's going to blow up that black women developed, that white women are going to take their way and call their own and never give credit to the ones who OG'd it.
Additionally, many hairstylists that cater to Caucasian women like to charge insanely high prices for virgin, Remy, and synthetic hair extensions. Here is another example for allegedly overcharging for hair.
It's funny you say this because I commented this on the original video and someone was like, oh, well, that's because of the cost of the price of the hair. I've been wearing hair extensions for years and I have tried so many extensions. I have paid so much money for Jay-Z Styles extensions, Bellamy extensions, Babe hair, and they were all trash. The best extensions I've ever gotten are from Amazon or the beauty supply. Pay attention to the reviews, obviously, and pay, whatever. But when I got my full weave enclosure that I pictured in the video that is the one you commented on, I think I paid $150 for the closure on Amazon and then $200 for 3 bundles.
As wigs become more and more trendy and more women are willing to try different wigs and different ways of installing hair extensions, this new wave of clients will bring in more business opportunities for these business owners. Although with cultural appropriation being a hot issue in our society, it could stunt it as well. So what do you all think? Do you like this idea and want businesses to go down this new money-making venture? Or do you think it will lead to too much controversy? Let me know down below. But back to the main topic. Wearing a wig in the United States has become a more affordable way to have fabulous hair 24/7, 7 days a week, compared to trying to keep up with the incredibly high cost of cutting, styling, and dyeing one's own natural hair. And for women who have tighter budgets and cannot afford extremely high quality human hair, they are looking for synthetic wigs to meet their hair needs.
Okay, listen, I'm actually going to change your life today. Like, I'm literally going to change your life. Okay, this is for girls that don't want to pay much for extensions. I want something super low maintenance for their hair that will literally transform your hair. Okay, listen up. This is what you're going to do. You're going to go to beauty supply. You're going to get a synthetic wig. Yeah, synthetic, because you're going to maintain it and it's going to look very good. I'm going to show you how. You're going to cut the top of the part. So if this is a wig, you're going to cut right around here in a little U on your wig. Okay, ignore the glue. Then you're going to get $2 clips from beauty supply and you're going to sew them on yourself, right 1, 2, 3 along the top. This is how I do my hair every day. It was $35 for the wig, $2 for the clips, $1 for the thread and needle, and literally it's all you need. You don't need a halo, you don't need $300 Bellamy extensions, none of that.
And just in case you are interested in how to tone synthetic hair, here is a viral video from cruise ship singer Emily E. Sen demonstrating how to do it.
Hi, I'm a professional singer that works as a guest entertainer on cruise ships, and this is another weird thing I have to do for my job. You may have noticed I look crazy because I have no makeup on and all this fake hair. You also may have noticed this is the wrong color. This is one of these old school drawstring ponytails. For me, this is the best backup plan to have for being on stage. I wouldn't necessarily always choose to wear one of these off stage because they're not the most natural looking thing up close, but from a distance on stage, they look so good and it saves you from frying your own real hair because you just pop your hair up in a bun and you're good to go. Problem is, synthetic one tends to be very yellow and my hair is a little bit ashier than that, so that's not gonna work. Never fear, we can tone synthetic hair. We're gonna need this Rit dye in royal purple, rubbing alcohol, just whatever, and a Ziploc bag. This luscious fake hair in the Ziploc bag, all of this rubbing alcohol, so this is almost a full bottle. Catch that, that was too much hair, so we're gonna actually add some more from another bottle. You need enough for everything to be saturated. Now we're gonna add a couple capfuls of the purple dye. Be careful, this stuff is crazy. All right, I did like 2.5 capfuls. I think that's the color I need. I'm gonna make sure everything is nice and saturated. Might end up also cutting this ponytail because it's so long, but we'll see. All right, it's been like 7-8 minutes. You can already tell it's a better color, but we're gonna leave it in for another like 5 minutes and then we'll take it out. All right, it's looking pretty purple, so I'm gonna rinse everything out. All right, she's looking very ratty because she's all wet, but as you can see, that's a much better match. So this just needs to dry and get all brushed out, and then it should be good to go. Let me know if you want to see like how I would style this for stage.
This video has gained 3.6 million views and has become a resource for women looking to make their synthetic hair and synthetic hair pieces and ponytails look more realistic. Speaking of ponytail and hair pieces, Lovely Mimi, a popular internet personality within the United States, gained tons of views when she decided to style her hair wearing synthetic ponytails off of Amazon for a night out on the town.
Let me tell you something. Clip-on ponytail. Amazon Prime. How would they know?
Although hair pieces are not full wig, it is showing that more women are willing to give synthetic hair a chance, which is why I personally believe that popular synthetic wig companies that supply most beauty supply stores within the United States are beginning to expand their color ranges, especially in blonde. Social media has become a very congested place for certain forms of influencing. That's when wig wearing and wig influencing can help. Influencers are now using wigs to create an image that grabs the attention of internet users. For example, many female Chinese influencers are using this tactic to garner traction online, totally transforming their looks by using wigs in different colors. A couple of influencers within China even went viral for wearing red and burgundy wigs. As a result, many women were influenced to purchase these wigs in order to replicate that look. Wig installation content has also grabbed a lot of attention as well, because now that more women are purchasing wigs, they need to learn how to install and customize it. Unfortunately, Chinese citizens do not have access to YouTube, Instagram, and other social media sites found in the rest of the world because it's blocked by the Great Firewall. Thus, they do not have access to the large amount of wig installing content found in the West. This inability to access wig installation content has caused many influencers to become successful on Chinese social media sites though. They have come up with their own version of installing wigs that often go viral. If you would like me to test out this version of wig installation and customization on this channel, let me know down below. Chinese influencers are also making sure to constantly switch up the color, length, and style of their wigs to keep the viewers intrigued, which is a tactic used by many US-based Instagram models and was popularized by female rappers. I am not surprised at all to see how popular wigs are getting within China, especially among influencer and influencer hopeful. On Chinese social media platforms, influencers tend to create a lot of highly intricate content, which goes to show how saturated the market is. In certain parts of China, becoming successful on social media has become a life or death situation. In a video reported to YouTube by the Chinese Observer, 45 million people, some of whom are newly college graduates but are unable to find a job from northeast China, have turned to influencing as a way to make a living.
This live streaming army has moved outdoors, with all corners crowded from the early mornings. The explosive growth of live streaming in China has become a global phenomenon. On the banks of the Xiangjiang River at 1 a.m., some of them are slapping their backsides with their shoes, some are washing their hair with soy sauce, and some are rolling on the ground. Yes, that's right, this is in the streets of Changsha, Hunan province, where hundreds of live streamers are shivering by the river before dawn. Some of these live streamers have formed a group, creating a circle of light under the overpass to support the live streaming. Many netizens have asked, is the evolution in the industry so serious now, forcing the live streamers to turn their stage to the outdoors? Not only in Changsha, but also recently in Guilin, Guangxi province, a large number of live streamers are doing their live broadcasts under the overpass on a cold night. A female live streamer at the scene said, "There are too many indoor live streamers, the market is saturated." She is in tears as she says that it is too cold. Sometimes I cannot withstand it when it's 0 degrees. But for survival, she has to choose to broadcast late at night to earn better income from the traffic.
This news report explains why so many influencers in China give 110%. Even luxury brands put in more effort into content they post on various Chinese social media sites allegedly than some Western social media sites. The competition is steep, so I am glad that wearing wigs and wig influencing can assist women in their social media endeavor. TikTok has helped to promote wig wearing and wig influencing to many people around the world through their live shopping feature. According to influencermarketinghub.com, TikTok live shopping is an e-commerce experience that offers brands an opportunity to showcase their products in real time through live streaming events. By participating in these events, TikTok users can purchase products without leaving the app. This allows brands and customers to interact and engage with one another while streamlining the purchasing process. Ever since TikTok Live first launched, companies have been heavily promoting wigs on the site. This extreme push to sell wigs has led many brands to hire employees whose job is to stay on TikTok Live, try on wigs, and get people scrolling through the site to purchase one. And it seems to be working. Many women using TikTok are tempted to try buying a wig at least once. It also helps that many of their employees are of different races and backgrounds, which helps consumers feel at ease when deciding to purchase a wig. Even if sales are not great, the constant bombardment of wig content on the Shop Live feature is helping to further normalize the use of wigs in everyday life. In the past couple of years, the internet has become very interested in the topic surrounding Jewish women wearing wigs. Many people were completely shocked when learning about this because most people had no clue that Jewish women wore wigs. Such content highlighting Jewish faith has racked up millions of views across multiple social media platforms and has helped change many women's views on wigs. On TikTok, Jewish content creator Shani L, owner of the luxury custom wig brand Shani Wigs, often gains traction for her hyper-realistic custom wigs. Shani has amassed a following of 52.9 thousand on TikTok, where she shares her work, some of her wig making techniques, and why she wears wigs. I really love that on her page, she works to further break down many misconceptions people have about wig wearing, and she does this by showing celebrity examples or by hosting discussions on her account.
The biggest misconception about wigs is that they look fake. But hey, times have changed. Wigs are made with human hair, making them look super natural. Another misconception is that wigs are so uncomfortable. Actually, they're so lightweight and breathable that wigs are more comfortable than a heavy hat. And you know what? Wigs aren't just for hiding hair loss or medical conditions. Celebrities and performers wear them all the time. It's never been easier to switch up your look and try different hairstyles. Your hair is your confidence. And if you were thinking about wigs or toppers, this is your sign to start your journey now. Follow for more.
Women from all over the world have become smitten with her work, and now she receives orders from all around the globe. She also works with clients dealing with hair loss and alopecia. During the pandemic, TikTok became the new it girl of all social media platforms, and one of the reasons for its rise in popularity was that it was seen as a platform where people could be more authentic. Most social media platforms allegedly made people feel like they had to be perfect, and most people were sick of it, especially post-lockdown. This movement for more authenticity online has led many women to become more forthcoming about the issues they face with their hair, and many have become more open to finding solutions, one of which is wearing wigs.
I can't get over this hair. Oh my god. Like, how does someone do that?
Many women who struggle with hair loss are trying wigs for the first time, and some are even becoming wig influencers and successful ones at that.
Never in my life I would have thought I would need a wig. Those were the first words my client exchanged with me, and I told her that most women in their lifetime will experience hair loss. Some are temporary, like postpartum hair loss. Others are more chronic and can result in very severe hair loss. And that's exactly her story. She began to experiencing thinning and shedding, went through a number of doctors, but none of the injections or pills were making a difference. Extensions are so painful and high maintenance. I need a better solution so I can let my hair breathe a little from all the products. I'm so thankful that my client let me share her story. It's important to know that you're not alone in this journey. Let's normalize wigs and feeling confident and beautiful.
I also love that more women struggling with hair loss are building successful companies as well.
Hi, my name is Saran. I'm the founder of silkerlace.com. I started this company because of my own journey with alopecia. When I was 23 years old, I lost half my head of hair. It didn't hit me until I lost my hair, how much hair was a part of my identity. I spent the next 5 years trying to find a solution, and all the while my hair was getting thinner and thinner. The thought that someone would see my scalp just ate at me. It wasn't until I found wigs and hair pieces that I finally found a solution. It was such a life-changing experience that I knew I had to share this with other people. And so I told my story on social media. And I heard from thousands of you ask me for advice, which brand will work for me, because let's face it, it's really confusing out there. It made me realize that there was an opportunity here for me to play my part in this community, and that was to build a better shopping experience. And that's my hair story and why I built Silker Lace.
In conclusion, we see how wig wearing and wig influencing is spreading, creating more jobs and helping women to feel confident. I personally believe that wig wearing and wig influencing will continue to expand, but what do you all think? Do you think that this industry will continue to grow worldwide, or do you feel like it will eventually die down again like it did back in the day? Let me know down below in the comment section. I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing and liking, and I will see you next time on Dynamic Touch.